What is going on, my Houston Texans family? I hope you guys are having a blast football Friday. Shout out to my dog Odie. He's right there chilling, giving me the side eye. Welcome to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calavillo. You can also find me on Believe in the Houston Texans on Spotify. I joined the Believe Network, guys. Every topic, every team, everywhere. I'm going to drop that link down below. I just did my first episode with the lead. Shout out to Harley Dugan. And when you are the Houston Texans, everything you've done so far, the fans are behind, the national media is behind. The Houston Texans are starting to get some love, guys, and we are 28 days away from free agency. We are 64 days away from the draft, and the QB position is a huge question for the Houston Texans. It's been a huge question since week 5 of last season when Davis Mills showed you in 4 games that he cannot be the starting quarterback for this team. And shout out to DJ Bieniemy, right? ESPN reporter for the Houston Texans put out an article a couple days ago that says, what would the Texans do at the struggling QB position? Now, in that article, he gives many scenarios where the Houston Texans can get better. But in the middle of that article, check this out. According to league sources familiar with the Texans' interview process, the front office in Houston told coaching candidates it plans on using the number 2 overall pick on a quarterback. Well, thank God. This was one of the questions we had, right, when they're interviewing these guys. It was Demeco, Shane Steichen, Jonathan Gannon, Sean Payton, right? Did they tell them that we are taking a quarterback at 2, right? Because what if they didn't? Maybe some coaches didn't want to come here. But the fact that this organization had the understanding from the get-go that we are taking a quarterback at 2, well, that is a sign of fresh air, right? Because you just got your quarterback who you think, right? The Houston Texans think that Demeco Ryans is the guy. There is no coincidence why they put out all these stops at NRG inside the stadium. It was a memorial dedicated to head coach Demeco Ryans, and I believe in him, and it's good to know my team believes in him also. So when you're talking about what the Houston Texans are going to do at number 2, I just mentioned they just got their coach. Well, go ahead and get your quarterback. Now, number 1 and number 2 have been getting a lot of conversation, a lot of, topic in the past couple of days after the comments that Jim Irsay said, the owner from the Colts, I like that kid from Alabama. He also tweets out a picture of him riding a bear, not too long ago, and says, my connections with Chicago goes back 60 years. He is absolutely trolling the Houston Texans. This is another Indianapolis versus Houston situation. And who is going to blink first? Are the Colts going to trade up and get Bryce Young? Are the Houston Texans going to settle for CJ Stroud? Or let's switch it the other way around. Are the Houston Texans going to put their nuts on the table? They have 11 draft picks this year. Do they go out there and go get Bryce Young if they fear that the Indianapolis Colts might jump them? Now, Indianapolis is at 4. They're going to have to give up so much stuff to jump 2 to 3 spots. And if you are the Houston Texans and you're and you're Nick Caserio, and I see that I just got an extra couple first-round picks from a quarterback that like fingers in his butt, I have the ammo to go up and get the quarterback if I want to. Now, if I were to see the Houston Texans trade up and go get a Bryce Young, I am absolutely slamming my fist down and saying, let's freaking go, because this is the Houston Texans guy, and they just made a statement by trading up just one single spot and going to go get him. Everything the Houston Texans have done this offseason so far has been about making statements. You hired the hottest coaching candidate, Demeco Ryans. Your ownership changes their narrative on people. You now have national media changing their perspective on the team. Brighter days are ahead for the Houston Texans, guys. I am excited for it. Y'all let me know how you feel about the quote that the Houston Texans are going to select a quarterback at 2. Y'all let me know how you feel, guys. As always, go Texans. And as always, y'all have a very blessed day.